Well, hi everyone. Hello to everyone who's here live and to those of you catching the replay later. Can everyone hear me okay? If someone will give me a thumbs up or a hey or a wave in the comments, that would be awesome. Yeah, so feel free to share where you're from. Awesome. Thanks. Good to see you, Janet. Yeah, feel free to say where you're from. If you've been making reads, if you know, how long you've been playing, stuff like that. Love to get to know all of you. Hey, Robert. All right. Well, as people pop on and introduce themselves, oh, Colorado. Yeah, I love Colorado. Been there a couple times. It's beautiful. Indianapolis, very new at reed making. Okay, okay, awesome. Yeah. Ooh, Brazil. Oh, good to see you. It's so fun when I recognize names that pop up and like the pictures. Hey, Carol. Oh, making reads, but you hate them. Well, I think we all, if you've made reads before, I think, you know, there's probably some level where one time you got a little frustrated, right? Because reed making, it's like this mysterious craft. But really, I think there's a way to do it in a methodical way where it takes a little bit of that frustration out and some mindset stuff too. So we're gonna make you love them, Carol. Oh, hi, EJ. Good to see you. Awesome. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kelly Ruark, and I've been making reads, gosh, probably 23 years now, I think. And my main job, I'm in the Air Force band program, so I get to do a lot of traveling and playing. And I have a reed making membership, and we get together about once a week and work on reeds and troubleshoot together. So it's a lot of fun. So yeah, this is my first time really going live on YouTube. So it's cool. I've got this new software. So if something goes glitchy, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to figure it out. But for today, I wanted to talk about the Peep and the Crow. Because whether you've been making reads a long time or you've never made reads before, the Peep and the Crow are really going to tell you what to do to your read and tell you how your read is functioning, really, if your read even works. I mean, if you don't make reads at all and you buy reads, you really should crow the read as well and get used to that feeling, because it'll tell you how the read is going to respond, or if it's too hard, or it might need a little tweaking. So if you're near your oboe in your reads, feel free to soak your own reads so you can kind of practice along. But for fun and a little challenge to myself, I thought I would soak up and kind of demonstrate today on two reads that I started last week. And I only did a day one scrape. And to be honest, one of them, I was like, this is not going to be a good read. And the other one, I was like, maybe. So they are not by any means close to finished. But to demonstrate my point of the Peep and the Crow, I thought they would be perfect examples. So yeah, feel free to soak up your reads, even reads you're playing on, so you can get used to the crow, things like that. So we'll let them soak a couple of minutes before we dive into that. Let's see. Absolutely any consistency. Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way to make progress with reads is to create a schedule. And, you know, everyone's time is different. You might only have an hour a week. You might have a couple hours a week. So whatever that is, being very intentional with how you spend your time, that's what I try to do. Because sometimes, like with my job, when we're gone, there are some days we're on a bus and I cannot look at my reads that day and have to, you know, do maybe minor tweaks before the show or whatnot. But, and even when I'm here at home, there are some days that you just might not have time. So when I do, I'm very intentional. I'm going to tie blanks today. I'm going to do the first rough scrape or try to finish some reads, something like that. So yeah, just finding a schedule that works for you and keeping a rotation. Okay, awesome. Let's see, this has been soaking a couple minutes. But really, okay, so the Peep and the Crow. When I crow my reads, before I even crow it, the first thing I do is I test to see if it peeps. And what I mean by that is it's going to sound like a little whimper. And the peep test really is going to show me how my reed is going to respond. So if it takes a lot of effort and a lot of air to get a sound to come out or a little whimper, then I know I'm going to have to work extra hard when I'm actually playing the reed and the oboe, and it's going to be very fatiguing. Yeah. So if you're just popping on, hello, hello. Okay, so let's see if this one is soaked enough. I suspect this one might be, it feels a little hard still, a little open. And the other one, a little more open. I'll have my second camera set up, so I'll show you guys in a minute. But so let's peep this one first. So when you peep your reed, I like to imagine I'm blowing straight across, even though the air goes down into the reed. So just imagine your air is going straight out in front of you. And imagine you're trying to blow the candle out. So there's a flame flickering, and you're just trying to blow blow a dandelion, like the dandelion leaves that fly out. So this reed doesn't have much peep at all. So when you're blowing across the candle, how much effort does it take you to get the flame to go out? Sometimes it takes a big, so we don't want that. What about, so let's backtrack. How much effort does it take to get the flame to flicker a little bit? Not very much. I think the dandelion example, that imagery is a little better. The one that has the little dandelion things and then they poof and they explode everywhere all over the ground. It doesn't take much effort at all. So that's what we're doing when we peep. So, and you're doing it right on the tip of the reed. So that first couple of millimeters right at the very top is what's going in my mouth. So I'm not all the way to the thread yet. So this reed takes a lot. Let's test this peep. Well, you notice this is higher in pitch too. This is a little bit easier to peep than this one, but this one also has a bigger opening, so it's a little harder. If you can see that. Now, if y'all peeped your reeds, how are they peeping? So go ahead and feel free to reply. So, yeah, EJ says, is it called first day scrape, second day scrape, etc.? Literally. That's what I call them. So I kind of created my own little system, day by day, what I do. So blank time then is day one. I call it, I'm just tying blanks, but my first day scrape is the second day. That's a little confusing. I get that. But so you tie your blank and then you scrape it the first day. So first day scrape. And then the next day you come to it is the second day scrape. Yeah, I'm sure if you watch or learn from other oboists, everyone has their own way of like their own stages they do of reed making, but that's what I find works well for me. And systematically, it works well for my brain. So, and I have certain goals in each stage of what I want to accomplish with the reed. So yeah, the first day scrape is really getting the reed to peep and to vibrate. It's not going to be finished. If you put it in the oboe, it would probably play, but you probably wouldn't be too happy with it yet. Yeah. So did anyone crow their reeds? Just curious. Or do you do the peep test? Let's peep this one again. Yeah, this one needs a lot more. So since this peep is hard, it's not easy to come out at all. What that tells me about this reed is that I need to take more out of the tip because there's not enough vibrations getting into the reed. There's just too much cane on. Let's see. Carol says peeps are a little tight sounding, muffled. Yeah, okay, that's good. Well, it's not good that it's tight sounding, but that's a good observation. So that's exactly what this one is too. So this might help your reed as well. I'm going to throw on my second camera, bear with me a moment, and show you where I'm going to scrape in this reed. It peeps but leaking. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Leaks are not fun. I think leaks, So definitely in the blank time process, that's where you'll work to really make sure those aren't, but we can talk a little more about that later too, if you'd like. Okay, make this bigger. Turn on a light. Hopefully everyone can see that okay. I think I can make this full screen. Ah, look at that. All right. So if it's leaking, where is it leaking? Is it leaking towards the top or just in general all the way up and down? Are you getting like a ton of air? There's not a whole lot you can do if it's leaking. Sometimes if it's in the thread, you can kind of cheat and put some nail polish on it or some Teflon tape. But ideally, you want to read that doesn't leak, because if it leaks, you'll have a ton of response issues. Okay. So this is the one that we peeped. Let's see. Yes, air just above the thread. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, no, it is done. Oh, well, the good thing about reeds is you can always move on to another one, which is what I recommend. And just when you work in stages too, you'll have several at each stage. So it's once you have multiples, it's easier not to get attached and get, attached to one reed hoping it'll work. Okay, so let's look at this one. All I've done so far is peep it. And if it doesn't peep well, I'm not going to try to crow it yet, because it's not going to teach me anything, because the air's not getting into the reed yet. So I think a lot of people mess up when they do that, or they work too hard, because they try to get the reed to crow, but if it doesn't peep, then let's see here. Yeah, but if it doesn't peep, it's not really going to crow. You're going to blow too hard and work too hard to get that sound to come out. So let's take a look here. Actually, when you look in the shading in the tip, it's not super thick. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. It's a little thinner on this side. This side looks better. This side is too thick. So if you look, my little drawing here, what I was talking about before, if it doesn't peep, then likely this whole area, the sides of the tip and around in the very tippy tip and around on the side, anything above the V is likely too thick, because the air, it's coming in and it's hitting a wall somewhere in there. Too much cane. So that's where I'm going to scrape. Whoop, I hit my computer. Okay. So put my plaque in. I'm using my plaque to guide me too, to tell me where the thick places are. Okay. This side is a little thicker. And I would say 99.9% of the times, if your reed doesn't peep, it's probably because your tip is just too thick. It could also be your reed is just too open. Like the back of the reed is too open, that it needs to be smaller for any air to get in there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just scraping a little bit of cane. I'm not scraping a lot here. Like, look at those small little shavings coming off. I feel like when you're doing this fine detailed work, like, take shorter, more articulate, more precise, that's the word, scrapes. And I try to leave as much cane as I can right in the center of the tip. But if you leave too much, it's going to be stuffy. Let's see. Carol, you said your peeps are a little tight sounding and muffled. Okay, so I'm curious if in the sides of your tip, if that helps, if you scrape there. And I would also evaluate, don't scrape here yet, but also evaluate, have you taken any cane off above the center of the tip? I leave that pretty thick, but if you don't take any off hardly at all, then it's gonna hit a wall of sound. or of cane right here when the air comes in. It'll hit this wall. You have to have a very nice slope so it gradually gets thicker, but this is definitely the thickest place. The tip is the most important part. I'm sure you all knew that though. It needs the most slope and the most care. It's got the thinnest parts of the reed on the sides and the tip. All right, let's see here. I have not done much at all except work on that side a little bit. So let's crow it. It peeps a lot easier now, and I barely did anything. Like you can see my little cane shavings. Some of those were from earlier, a few minutes ago, but yeah, just a couple little cane shavings. So since it peeps now, I'm going to crow it. So we have the peep, which we do first, which we talked about. Then you get to the crow, which you put more reed in your mouth. Let's see here. So a lot of people say put the reed in your mouth up to the thread. I'm getting used to this fancy technology here. Okay, there we go. Carol says, yes, nice and thin at the side of the tip and a little towards the center. Peeps easier and the crow is the C. Oh, nice. So that helped. Love it. European scrape, they just don't go down as far as we do. Like we scrape a lot in our back. So I think they're primarily tip and maybe a little bit of the heart. But if someone knows more about it, please feel free to chime in. Okay, so we did the peep. Now the crow, I would put the reed into your mouth. I don't put the thread in my mouth. I'm not all the way in here. I'm actually kind of where the back of the reed is, right here, right above the thread. That's as far as I go when I crow my reed. And I always start with the peep and then I do the crow. So then I'll put it in. So I'll go. And my reed is a little bit, okay, so what I learned by this crow, it's kind of harsh sounding. I don't like it. It doesn't sound very good right now. It needs more warmth, more vibration. Because I'm sure you noticed too, it's brighter. It sounds very brighter. Let's crow it again. And it also takes a second for that lower octave to come in. We really want the lower octave to come in very, not immediately, but very soon after the initial sound starts. So we have those octaves. This one takes a little bit longer, a little bit faster air to get it to come out. But I want it to come out easier because I don't want to work so hard when I play. So if you're crowing a reed and you're about to play rehearsal and one of them, you can't get that lower octave, then that tells me your reed doesn't vibrate quite enough. So what I would do to this reed, which I will show you all, is I think we need to move a little bit into the heart. So let me just, here we go. All right. So this area right here on the sides of the heart, that's where I'm going to work because I feel like the vibrations are coming in and they're kind of getting through, but they're hitting a little bit of resistance. So I'm just going to look for thick areas on the left and right sides of the heart, not going all the way over to the rails. I want to leave a little bit of space there. So I'm going to work, I circled right here, but it's really, you know, a little beside that. I need to redo this drawing. This was my overdramatic drawing when I drew it. But this area here really can free up some vibrations in the reed. So let's try to get more of that crow. Okay. Oh, make sure I keep it in the frame. There we go. All right, so evaluate your reed. Sometimes I like to hold my reed upside down and look at it. Let me get rid of this other angle so you can see better. Okay. I look down. I'm also looking for the slope, seeing if the reed, if the cane is gradually getting thicker as you go down. This one, honestly, this reed looks pretty smooth. but the crow felt tight to me. I know, yeah, Carol, you said yours felt tight in the beginning too. So I'm just looking for unevenness of the cane at this point. I also want to measure it because I feel like my tip line's a little lopsided. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little higher on the right side. But I think what I'm going to do instead of moving that line a little bit is I'm going to work exactly where I told you guys on the right hand side. So notice, again, small little scrapes. You don't want to take a whole lot of cane off here because the little is going to go a long way. And you can always take more cane off, but you can't put it back on. So go ahead. Work there. And if you guys have questions that are going along, yeah, feel free to keep posting them. I'll keep checking when I look up. Okay. All right, let's see what that did. Okay. It's better. Do you hear how the vibrations come in a little bit sooner? Yeah, just for fun, let's see if it has potential. After this stage, I would have another day or two of finishing this reed because I let them dry in between stages. I just feel like they last longer, and the more you let them dry in between stages, the cane darkens, and so it's easier to tell where the thick places are. The scrape on the side of the heart is longer than I thought. Yeah, it's kind of, so I always talk about the blend of a reed and the blend in the tip, like heart tip going into the heart. And it's not one length. So if you're looking here, it's not just one thickness all the way. It's actually, for me, it's still sloping. So this is still going to be like thicker, much thicker than the tip, but it's going to be slightly thinner up here, and then it'll get slightly thicker. Probably, I mean, it's not much difference in all those. So, but it's not all one thinness or one thickness. So it's still varying, like it's still sloping. So smaller to larger. But here in the center, I try to keep this all pretty consistent, but I'm still building a little bit of slope here, but it's not as drastic as it is like in the tip. It's very, it's a little less. So let's see what this is doing. Okay, this reed is pretty bright. Sorry if I hurt your ears. But, you know, when you test reeds, I want to test for function. How is it going to function? What am I going to have to do with my embouchure to make it play? I don't want to do anything. I just want to put the reed in there and play. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so probably what I would do to this reed next, based off of the crow, it's taking a little bit to get in there. So I want to create a little bit more, but if you can see here, this tip is a little bit small. So the piece of cane in general is a little small. Robert says, and the rails stay thicker. Oh, and the heart. Yeah, let's see if you can. My rails on my reeds, I keep, and he's talking about the bark. So I keep the bark up until about mid-heart. Actually, mid to bottom of the heart. So my heart is about, I'm going to draw on my reed. This heart currently ends there. Can you see that? Okay. And then my rail ends like right there. Yeah, so if I were to measure that, give you an accurate measurement, my rail ends at 63 on this reed. Let's see what the other reed does. The other reed, 63 for the shiny part. Yeah, it ends like right there. So Yeah, but it's very like once you get up into the heart, it's not super wide. It's very narrow with the rail. Okay, I'm going to look at the other reed now. The other reed, let's evaluate that crow. This is a more open reed. So I'm actually going to take my fingers and smush it down a little bit because it's a little too big. Okay, let's give it a crow. A peep, sorry. Okay, so it's a little harder than the other one. Yeah, and it takes a little bit for the crow to get in. But I honestly think this reed's just a little open, so it just needs to be smushed. Oh yeah, that made it so much better. So we haven't done anything to this one yet. All I've done is scrape one day on it. I just want to see where it's at. I feel like it just needs a little thinning in the tip. Yeah, it's a little raw. Like when you're doing your day one scrape, and even sometimes the day two, it might sound a little bit raw, but that's just because the vibrations aren't, everything's not finished yet, right? Everything's still a little unbalanced. You have thick places. So in this reed, it felt like by the crow that it needed a little more peep. So I'm just going to thin that area we talked about right on the side, and then a little bit of the tip at the very top. I'm not doing much at all because I don't want to do too much. But in general, I think, and I would recommend that people practice peeping and crowing your reed. And if you crow your reed and you're like, Kelly, I do not get any lower octave at all, you're not alone, because a lot of people have don't get the lower octave. But I think it's because you're too clamped up here. And if you just loosen up a little bit and relax your embouchure, because you're not playing when you're crowing your reed, so it should be more relaxed, more of just an ooh shape, and then blow the reed or blow air into the reed, then you'll probably have more success. And just as free and as empty of a pipe you can make all of this, the more you'll get that. Okay, so, ooh, look at the closure. I think it's blurry on your end, but it has good closure. Yeah, and there are different tests you can do. I have like a tongue test where I can tell if a really good reed has a certain flick of the tongue. Like if you play a reed you really like and you just on it, observe how that feels. And I always try to, there's like a certain resistance, but also a pinginess. And I always try to build that in my reeds. This one doesn't have that yet, but that's okay. Yeah, any questions about the peep and the crow? I feel like oh, wrong camera. There we go. Yeah, any questions about the peep and the crow? Or any other reed questions? Well, if you think of any, feel free to put them in there. But yeah, I did this live stream. You know, if you are making reeds or you don't make them yet and you want to, if you want to go deeper with me, I'm doing a reed making course starting on March 2nd, and I am so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been recording a bunch of videos, so there'll be pre-recorded videos of each step of the process, starting from the very beginning, even like picking out supplies. If you need help, I'll help you with that, absolutely. But yeah, we'll start at the very beginning, and I've broken it up into short videos that are very user-friendly to help help things not be overwhelmed, right? I don't want things to be overwhelming. Yeah, so if you feel stuck, if you feel like you need a little bit of support, I would love to help guide you. Oh, Yiche says, so peeps tell you about the tip and the crow tells you about the heart. Ooh, that's a great observation. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Are the octaves affected by different scraping? Um, you mean like scraping in different areas of the reed? Yeah, I would say like if you don't get like the lower octave is definitely if you get that from the air going into the heart. So if the heart is too thick, then I would take hand off there to get that lower octave. And if you're talking about octaves like where the pitch is, because reeds should be at like a C, octave Cs. If your reed's coming out of B, then the reed just, you might need to work on it until you can clip it. And, you know, when you clip it shorter, the pitch will go higher as well. I hope that answered your question, but if not, please let me know and I'll try to clarify. But yeah, about the read course, yeah, we'll have videos so you can go at your own pace, and I'll release a certain batch of lessons so you won't get all of them at one time. So you'll get to pace yourself and not feel overwhelmed. And then we'll have some live sessions together where we can work. You can ask me questions. You can send me questions anytime. We'll have like a little hub so we can message each other and answer questions there too. So yeah, I'm super excited. So if you're interested or know someone who might be interested in learning to make reeds or better their reed making and just have some more support, then yeah, feel free to read more. I'll post a link where you can read more about the course and enroll. And yeah, I just posted it in the comments. And if you have any questions about it or anything, feel free to email me. And yeah, what am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, yeah. And anyone who signs up in the next 24 hours, I'm going to throw in 2 months of Read Lab, which is my read making membership. Just because after you go through the course, I really feel like it's nice to still have some support where people answer questions. We've got a great group of people in Read Lab, and yeah, we meet basically every week. And it's mostly Tuesdays, sometimes other days, but yeah, great group of people. And so just getting a little more support there if you have questions as you continue to go on your read making journey. Yeah. Let's see. Did I miss any questions? Yeah, any questions about anything, about reads, about the course? Do you guys like doing live streams like this? I might consider doing some in the future. Now that I feel like I'm getting used to all the tech stuff. Okay. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm so glad you all joined me. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, and so feel free to check out, for those watching the replay, I'll post this in the description box below as well if you want to find out more about the read making course. So, oh, good. You love the live stream. Awesome. Thank you both. This is fun. It's always, so I love that we have the comments, that I can read all the comments, but like when I look at the screen, I just see my face. So it's kind of weird talking to me, but I'm talking to you guys because you're right there, which is great. Maybe we'll do some more of these on Zoom as well in the future. But awesome. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night and happy read making. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Bye. Oh, thank you guys.